Hello everyone, it is time for another edition of Try Hard Racing with me, OKCV. I do the best I can with what I've got, which is not a lot of talent, but a whole lot of, what do I have a lot of? I have a lot of career to continue, that's what I have a lot of. A whole lot of career. Where am I next? Grand Prix of Aragon. Aragon, that sounds like a famous place. Oh well, I have to show off superiority. Finishing the race ahead of the Foggia. Okay, well, whatever. Grand Prix of Aragon. Let's make sure that they have short weekend selected. No, they don't, of course. Because for some reason, I haven't played this in a couple of 50%. Okay. And let's get going. It's been 2 weeks since I played this. I played it seriously because last Saturday, I'm streaming this on the second Saturday of the month of September, and last Saturday was Dirt Rally Day. So I streamed Dirt Rally instead. Dirt Rally shows up on my channel every Saturday at noon, U.S. Central Time. And then this is on the weekends. This shows up on the YouTube channel on the weekends at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time.
Good morning from Spain. We're reporting from the Aragon
And
circuit.
then SnowRunner and
Moto3
Civilization 6 are during the week.
A reminder, the first 14 riders in the
Yeah.
rank.
First 14 drivers. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks I played this seriously. I did play around a little bit in the interim. I played for like 10 minutes last night. Just did one Grand Prix. So let's hope everything's good. Yeah, make sure I did this right. Yeah, qualifying. Okay, official practice. I have
Movement in the pits. The bike is ready and the rider is about to take to the track.
Gotcha. At 25 minutes, I pull into the pits, and at 10 minutes, I pull. At 25 minutes to go into the pits, and then at 10 minutes to go, I come back out again. And we'll see if we can get in the top 14. If we can get a top 14, we skip. I'm wondering why I'm not turning. It's on autopilot. Autopilot, you're not even close to the race line. Yeah, if we can get in the top 14, we skip Q1. We go, which is the consolation qualifier. And we get seated right into Q2. If we don't get in the top 14, then we go to Q1 with everybody that did not make it into the top 14, and we have to get in the top 4 there in order to be able to go into Q2. And then in Q2, everyone who made it in Q2, they can fight for the pole position. They fight for all the positions for the top 18 drivers. And then the rest of the drivers, there's more than 18, I still get to run the race, even if I don't qualify. I just have to go in the back behind the top 18 riders. And I don't know what the what sets your order in the bottom between 18 and 26 or 27, whatever it is. I'm guessing it's your lap time in Q1, since you didn't make it into, you didn't get the bye to Q2, you would have had to be in Q1. So I'm guessing you finish outside the top 4 in Q1, then that order of finishing, they all go to the back and don't have a chance to improve their position in Q2. That's my guess. I don't know. If anybody knows for sure, you know, either whisper me on Twitch or leave a comment in the YouTube. By now, there should be a poll up on my YouTube channel under posts. YouTube, it used to be community, but now it's youtube.com/@rollktv/posts with an S. And that poll that's up there is asking whether or not you think it would be nice to have a community channel. YouTube has redone the community page to now be a public page where everyone can contribute, kind of a miniature Discord, but it's just like discussions. I don't know if they have private messages or anything built in. And it will only be for YouTube subscribers. You don't have to pay money or anything. You can restrict it to just members, but of course, since I never have plans on being monetized on YouTube, I would not be accepting memberships. So, yeah, that's something that I'm considering, because I've been trying to set up a Discord for a long time, and Discords are really hard to set up and maintain. You need third-party bots for a whole bunch of things. But there's a lot of functions and functionalities, features that are in Discord that would not be in the community page. So I'll have a poll up. I want to get it done within a few days of recording this, but by the time this goes out on YouTube, you should have it there. And it'll be, are you interested in setting up a community page? And then maybe there'll be a link to what the community page does in the description of the poll. Are you not in? Would you rather hold out for a Discord instead, knowing that it might be another year until I get one set up? Or are you good to go and don't have an interest in any kind of social interaction between the YouTube subscribers? And you don't have to be because it's a post, you don't have to be a subscriber to YouTube in order to vote on the post. You can vote in the post whether or not you're a YouTube subscriber, but you would have to be a YouTube subscriber to join the YouTube community. So if there's no votes, then I know no one will want to join the community page on YouTube, and I will not bother with either the YouTube community page or the Discord, quite frankly. If I get very little interest in the YouTube community page, then certainly the interest in the Discord would be also low, if not lower. And so, yeah, I won't bother, because the community page would be easier to deal with. The Discord is a lot harder to deal with, and it's going to take a lot longer for me to set up. I'm going to need to find someone to help. I don't have the money to really hire anybody, but and then you can add comments to the poll also. So if you know somebody that would be willing to, or if you yourself would be willing to help set up a Discord and administer it on an ongoing basis, free of charge, and I know you well enough to know that you've been a subscriber on YouTube or a follower on Twitch, and you've been active and all that stuff. I am not going to pay anyone to administer a Discord, because I cannot afford to pay anyone to administer a Discord. And I'm not going to just give that kind of power, because the administrator has pretty much ultimate power. Not quite as much power as the owner, but they can't delete the Discord. But other than that, they can do just about anything. So it would have to be someone that I know and trust. But if you have suggestions, or you are one of those people, go ahead and leave a comment in that community post. And for those of you watching on Twitch, if you're watching the day this is streaming, that post is not up yet, but I do hope to have it up within a few days. Today's Saturday as I'm streaming this. By Wednesday, I should have that post up. I am streaming this the day that the very first premiere episode has hit. The premiere episode of this game has hit YouTube, so that gives you an idea how far in advance I have content build up. I do need to take some time off. I don't like to take time off streaming though, because I love streaming. It's like the day of the week comes around, or the 4 days a week come around when I do streaming, and it's like, oh boy, I get to stream today. I'm so excited. My entire life is wrapped around streaming, but I do have to take some time off to work on the stream, which is not nearly as fun as actually doing the streaming, but to work on the stream would be nice. Okay, I'm down to 25 minutes. If I cross the finish line before the 25 minutes is up, I'll do another lap. If I don't, then I'll go back into the pits until 10 minutes are up. Right now, I am number 1 on the list, so I have the best lap. But you'll see when I go back into the pits, that will go down dramatically. Okay, I'm under 25 minutes. So this is the last lap. I will say, when I did practice yesterday and a couple times during the week, I did not do so well. So I will finish this and then I'll just auto go to the pits. Okay. And hopefully not doing so well help the adaptive AI to know that, okay, he's out of practice. Don't dust him. But I don't know how that goes. I would not be surprised if the adjustable AI only adjusts up, figuring that, well, people will get better at the game. If they used to drive this well earlier, we don't want them sandbagging. They're obviously going to live sessions. They'll obviously play better if they put, if they get a little practice. So, but of course that's not the case with me. Yeah, it starts to lag at 30x. So here am I. I'm still number 1. Still number 1. Still number 1. Very surprising. Okay. Under 10 minutes. Go to track, finish out the practice.
The team has just finished preparing the bike and the rider is ready to take to the track.
Well, if this works out, I will avoid Q1. All I have to do is finish in the top 18. I am playing this. This is called the Full of Fun career playthrough. It's a full playthrough. I'm starting on the MotoGP or Moto3 bike. I'm going to go up to Moto2. I'll do at least one season of Moto3. Then I'll do at least one season of Moto2. And then I'll play MotoGP until I win the championship, which could take a while. It will probably take longer at the rate I'm cranking these videos out. It will probably almost certainly take beyond MotoGP 26 coming out. But don't expect me to pick up MotoGP 26 because I don't buy these yearly subscription video games. I think they're a horrible concept, and I feel guilty buying them at all, except games like F1 and MotoGP are staples of my racing fun. But what that means is I only buy them every 5 years, because then, they will have significantly changed in 5 years. That would be about on the time scale of a real sequel that wouldn't come out every year just so that they can add new driver stats to it. I'm not playing because I'm a fanboy of F1 and I want to follow my favorite driver every year. This isn't like Football Manager or anything like that, or Madden Football if you're an American. I don't care about the stats. I don't even know the names of the people in this this circuit. I know a couple of names of the F1 drivers. I would like to follow F1 more, but I live in America. I don't have any kind of cable TV. I don't have any kind of streaming services because I don't really like television. The TV in my handle is for my initials. So titanium vanadium, as far as anyone knows. So anyway, yes, I buy them every 5 years. F1, I have 2010, 2015, 2020. I have yet to buy 2025. I think it's out now. It wasn't pre-order. Maybe it isn't even out yet. I don't know. Codemasters was always famous for being late. One of the best ones you can get is F1 2015 because it comes with both the 2014 and the 2015 season because they ran so late with 2014 that they had to they scrapped it, just went for 2015. But F1 2025 has at least is in pre-sales. It's I haven't checked it all. It probably is out by now. Since they are owned by EA Sports now, they'll, it doesn't matter if it's total crap. They're going to release it on time. EA's not going to put up with any late delays. Hey, you haven't rendered any of the wheels on the vehicles yet? Release it. It's good enough. What, the tracks don't include pit lanes? No problem. Release it. It's good enough. So, but since, they have effectively 5 years to produce 4 versions, the tiny changes they actually do to the code every year are so insignificant year on year that as long as they have their data files in order, all they have to do is swap out some name for another name in the database and maybe change change a 3D avatar a little bit. Also, while I'm racing, I am unlikely to be able to see the chat. I can maybe glance at the chat and see if there is one, but most times not. My chat, I don't only have one screen. My chat is down at my side, so don't get offended if you're new to the Twitch channel and you wondered why I'm not answering the chat. It's because I'm not going to stop in the middle of a race just to look at the chat. I can't see it during the race. Watch on YouTube, twitch.tv/rollcage_TV. There's an underbar in my name on Twitch. If anyone knows who's camping on the Roll Cage TV without the underbar, tell them I'm willing to pay them good money to get rid of it. But I have a feeling that they lost their password and they no longer have access to their email that set up the password. But unfortunately, they became monetized and they're actually active, so I don't think, because they're an affiliate, I have a feeling that Twitch isn't going to call their ID when they haven't been active in well over 5 years, which is what Twitch had published as being the inactive time. If you haven't signed into your Twitch account for 5 years, they say they will call your ID. It still says that in their documentation, although I have a funny feeling that they don't actually do that anymore. There's not a lot of people do that anymore. But I'll have to hire a lawyer and a private investigator to find the guy, which, probably not happen. Not only do I not have the money to do it, but I'm not even sure a lawyer or a private investigator could find the guy. I would need to hire a hacker. Someone at Twitch who wants to make a little money, a little dirty money on the side. This is all just a joke, by the way. I would never do this. Anybody at Twitch that wants to make a little dirty money on the side that can leak the email address of this guy and the password of this guy. And it's got to be two-factor authentication if he's an affiliate, so they'll have to also spoof his phone, which he probably doesn't have a phone number anymore either. No, I would not do that. But I would, legitimately, I would pay what I would consider a decent amount of money, because I would prefer to be Roll Cage TV on Twitch, not Roll Cage Nearby TV. If you follow me on Twitch, it doesn't matter. That will go along with it. You would automatically be following my new ID. I would just have to update my links on places like YouTube and Discord, which would be easy enough to do. Of course, I would not go back to all my old YouTube videos and blur out the ID on the lower left corner YouTube video. Probably have to put some pin note, pin comment in all the videos. Now that wouldn't work. I'm not going to go back to my thought. I just hit 5,000 views total. I got a badge from YouTube for having successfully hit 5,000 views. I think that's what it was. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was. I've gotten over like 2,000 views on one video. So, and I have like 1,500 videos or something. Maybe it wasn't 5,000. I don't remember what it was. Some thousands of views. I had crossed the threshold. Or maybe it was hours viewed. Yeah, that would make more sense. 5,000 hours viewed. Anyway. Because, you know, some people might watch a video more than once. Some people are just going to watch for 10 seconds. The videos are, most of my videos are under an hour, although some of my old videos are basically just the stream. And look at that, pole position. Well, not pole position, first place. And now I get to fight to keep that. I'll be pole position in the qualifier. That's what that means. And no parfumé. What does that mean in English? I take it that's French. Anyone knows what parfumé means in English? Let me know. Oh, and this music, crinklesmusic.com. I will actually...
We're back again from the circuit to start the second Moto3 class qualifying session. The riders are ready, just a few moments and we'll see them battle it out for lap times.
No, that's not right. Crinklesmusic.com. Oh, no! Why did it do that? Cribs, not Cribs. Hi. Crinklesmusic.com. I do have a command on Twitch chat. If I just say Xlam Music, it pulls that up. But I wanted to also post it to YouTube. I should have something that posts. I wish I could do something that would post a scan code in Twitch chat, in YouTube chat. Because what does a link do for you on a screen on YouTube? Actually, you could take a picture of the link and click on it. But anyway, that's where I get my music from. Every so often it comes up, a bot comes up and tells you that on Twitch. I am looking for suggestions. And, you know, that would be another thing for a poll. You only have like 4 options in a poll, though. So I couldn't give you a list of 10 songs and say pick 4, but pick 3. But yes, if you have suggestions, I have all this music comes from Soundtrack from a Box, which are the name of all of his albums. 22. Their albums. I don't know, male or female. We don't need to talk about anything. Let's just go to the track. Yeah.
There's movement in the pits. The bike is ready and the rider is about...
But I have a license to 21 through 24, so if I want to expand the music that happens, the background music during the stream, and so you can listen. If you go to that site, you can listen to, it automatically takes you to the music page. You can listen to the albums without buying a license for them and downloading them. So if anyone wants to go ahead and listen to volumes 21, 23, and 24, and offer suggestions, you can either do it in the YouTube comment, or you can listen to me on Twitch. I'll try to compile those suggestions, and if I use one of your suggestions, I'll make you a VIP if you follow me on Twitch. Otherwise, I'll put you in a tag note in the description. In all my YouTube descriptions, there is a link to crinklesmusic.com. It says music by Crinkles at crinklesmusic.com. Anyway, it makes some really good background music, but if you're watching a 3-hour stream, it can get a bit obnoxious. There's only about 15 minutes of music or something like that. 16 to 20 minutes of music. So, if you're just watching a 1-hour video, okay, if it's 20 minutes of music, it repeats, 2, maybe 3 times. But if you're watching a 6-hour stream like I do on Sundays for SnowRunner, then yeah, it can get quite monotonous. So please give me some suggestions. I would rather not just pick them out myself. One, I don't want to take the time to pick them out myself. And two, I would not mind getting some of my viewers involved. So yeah, crinklesmusic.com, spelled with a C, not with a K, as if it's like a donut shop. Can I have my jelly donut with crinkles? We now have crinkle fries, spelled with a K. No, it's spelled with a C. Come on. I don't know. Maybe in the UK they spell it with a K. They spell things weird in the UK. They didn't have Noah Webster pull all the U's out of all the OR words like we got in America. Color, flavor, whatever. I don't know. Is flavor spelled O-U-R in the UK? Probably. We weren't, but then again, we weren't, conquered by a Frenchman, so. There are some words that there was a trend, and I mean well after 1066, there was a trend at some point, and past the Elizabethan era, I think like 1800 or something, where there was a trend to francophile the English language in the UK. And so certain names, if they looked French, they started being pronounced French. Like valet is not how it was traditionally pronounced. You had a valet. It's spelled like valet, it was pronounced like valet, but it was also looked like a French word, so they started pronouncing it valet because it was fashionable in the 1800s. In the 1800s, during that, when the British and the French stopped being at war with each other for a brief period of time in the late 1800s. I guess that was a pretty permanent peace, huh? The early 20th century, those conflicts, probably, early 1900s, probably got the British and the French to realize, yeah, they should be on the same side of a lot of things. So, I don't know. History might tell a different story, but this was just a brief piece behind the thousands of years of animosity between the British and the French. But it's pronounced valet. Well, actually, it's pronounced valet now, because that's how people pronounce it. I don't insist on pronouncing like the H's and who, what, where, or anything. It's what, where, why. Oh, it's just where, what, why. I just watched. I love etymology of words. I just watched a Rob Words video on YouTube earlier today, and he was talking about all the silent letters. And it's been said that every letter in English is silent in at least one word, and he did mark off all of them that were silent in at least one word. But some of them were like direct borrowings from French where the X was silent, and a couple of them were like, really, that's kind of obscure. So Merriam-Webster and the Oxford English Dictionary both say that all the words are silent, all the letters are silent in at least one word, but some of the words are pretty obscure. But he came up with a little bit more common words. But you kind of had to stretch, like only in some dialects. I'm not doing too bad on this course. I'm a little surprised. I dropped quite a ways in the standings. I don't remember what's coming up next. Okay. Don't give me a warning, Mr. Stewart. I didn't intentionally do that. But I'm playing with, I mentioned it's a full of fun career. I never finished my thought there, because it is going to be a full career, but it's also a fun career. I am playing with the arcade experience. I am not playing. I could not play a career in MotoGP 2020, and I tested it out to see, even before I bought 2025, whether I wanted to do a series on MotoGP 25, and I tested out 2020 and started crying because I'd fully intended, well, not literally, but I had fully intended on doing a series in MotoGP 25, and since I couldn't do it in 2020, I figured I wouldn't be able to do it in 2025. But guess what? By 2025, they added more features. Kudos to these guys. Kudos to Milestone. They realized, hey, you know what? Games don't have to get harder and harder every year. They can just add more and more levels of difficulty every year, so that if people want the game to be harder, they can make it harder. And if they want to make it easier so the game's too hard for them, then they can make it easier. They even added colorblind and tinnitus reducing options, which I tried to pick. During my first episode, I showed off my settings, and I asked people for like what ratio, what frequencies irritates their tinnitus, because I don't know anybody with tinnitus. But I did pick a mild level of color blindness, so if the reds look kind of orangey to you, that's because of that, making it a little bit more distinct. So yeah, I mean, they have, there's no reason not to have accessibility settings that are easy enough to implement. There are accessibility controllers that you can get for all of the well, I don't know about Nintendo. I'm assuming there are accessibility controllers, but there are accessibility controllers for PlayStation and for Xbox. But a lot of the games are limited, and a lot of games don't have to be limited, because they could have accessibility features that make it easier to play. I mean, some games I understand it'd be harder to do. You can only make the platforms so close together. You can only have so many difficulty levels. But in a racing game, it's like, it's so easy to make the racing game more accessible. You just make the drivers slower. And in a motorcycle game, maybe you just make the angle before you fall off to be lower. So anyway, I do miss some of the things out of the arcade version, the arcade experience they call it. Primarily, I can't, none of the races, you cannot turn on tire wear, you cannot turn on fuel wear. So none of the races require any kind of pitting. None of the races require any kind of strategic decisions. Now, I would prefer it if I could do strategic decisions and yet make the racing a little bit easier. You know, have auto braking and make it less likely to fall over and that kind of thing. And if you play in simulation mode, you can do all that. You can up the stability control, and you can up the all-wheel drive, and you can up the amount of auto tuck and that sort of thing. But you can't change the physics of how the bike reacts, so you can't make it less easy to fall over. And so, and even with the maximum settings for like anti-wheelie, you still might wheelie the bike or endo the bike. So, and yes, it took me a while to remember what the opposite of wheelie was. Did the term endo actually ever enter the motorcycle racing lexicon until stunt racing was a thing? You know, where you purposely endo the bike in dirt racing? I don't know the answer to that, but I'd be curious in knowing, because like I said, I like the origin of words and stuff. If you are into etymologies, if you know what the word etymology means, or you would like to, this means the origin of words. There is a great podcast, which is on podcast apps, but also a video version is listed to YouTube. Rob Words, the one guy I was talking about, is half of the team of that podcast. There's also, or vodcast, if you will. Jess Safaris is the other half of that. And the show is called Words Unraveled. And there are 2 L's in Unraveled. I guess there's, again, English versus British spellings of things, but Words Unraveled. And it is a great show. The chemistry between those two is really funny. Jess wrote a book called Words from Hell or something like that. Talks about the etymology of dirty words. And Rob Watts thinks he still lives with his grandmother or something because he gets so embarrassed over things. So she's always trying to bring up things with double entendres and stuff and make him blush. He's got a little bit better at not blushing, but it says an all ages channel, but I think hell is PG. I don't think I have to say words from heck. Adult words. It's about the origin of adult words, and words are part of the anatomy that are not used by medical professionals. That sort of thing. I am can't believe how well I am dominating this. If you watch the last couple of episodes, you know I was having a few really tough races. It may be practicing during the week and not intentionally sandbagging, but I really was focusing on not falling off, because I rewind if I fall off, but I really don't want to fall off because rewinding disrupts the action, and I don't, just like I don't pause to read comments, I don't want to disrupt the action. But it's so important that, you know, I'm never going to get a championship if I don't have the ability to rewind if I fall off. So that's the only time I will rewind, is if I fall off. I at least have that much self-respect. Okay, this is the last time around, unless somebody steals it from me right here on the last lap.
The second Moto3
Yay!
session
I'm in the pole position.
The ranking you see on the screen corresponds to riders' starting order on the grid.
It's under 40 minutes. I don't know if I have time for the race. The race lasts 15 minutes or more. And well, I'm at 40 minutes. Let's go for it. Let's try to do the race. I don't like to be over 55 minutes, but maybe it'll be shorter. Oh, do I have... oh, maybe I had messages after the qualifier that I didn't look at. Ooh, that's bad. I gotta keep good. No, I didn't go back to the thing. Okay. Now what I would have to do here is go ahead and just quit. Let's get this started. Let's get the party started here. I'm on the pole. This is where it really counts for real. 9 laps. I probably did 9 laps in the qualifier. The qualifier is usually about 15 minutes, and then it's 15 to 20 minutes of practice. I only do the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes of practice, but then I do flying laps, which cut out a couple minutes. So I do the first 10 minutes to actually practice because I don't know the race course. Although when I am practicing on my own, I am looking at I am going through each circuit. So eventually my brain will start to recognize them, but that will take a while. My brain is not young. So far, so good, but this is the adaptive AI. They will not let me stay in place the entire race. I'm a little concerned about the adaptive AI. Like I said, it might... the adaptive AI may not recognize that I might get worse. But during my few practice runs during the couple weeks since I streamed, I did, you know, if I fell off, I didn't reset my bike. Things like that. So it is possible that the adaptive AI did turn itself down slightly, which is why I'm doing better in this race than I did in the last few. I don't know. But one thing the adaptive AI will do is bumper pull at its finest. It is a motorcycle-based demolition derby now. That would be a great game. Oh wait, they had that game. It was called Road Rash. What a great game that was. And I have been checking for comments during my breaks, and I haven't noticed any. If you left a comment during one of the races and I haven't responded to it, please repeat it, because my bots come up, and they come up not less frequently enough. Infrequently enough. They come up infrequently enough that I usually don't have to scroll back to see a real message, but sometimes I do, and I did not scroll back this time. I just forgot to do that. I added a new timer message. I put it on like a 41-second delay one, so it doesn't come up too often, but I added a new timer message that says, spend Jeff's money. In case you don't know, you can, if you're a Twitch Prime member, which if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can become a Twitch Prime member just by connecting your, go into your Twitch connection setting and connect it to your Amazon account. But if you're a Twitch Prime member, you can subscribe to one channel per month for free. Now, I'm not sitting here asking you to subscribe to my channel. There's probably a lot of channels that you would get more benefits. One of the reasons I want to take some time off is so I can add more emotes and stuff like that. Although there are follower emotes now. I can put 3 more follower emotes on, but I haven't. I only have 2 follower emotes, and you can get 5. If you give me a certain number of bits, there's a couple more you can use. And again, I'm not asking for bits, but that's an option. One thing to keep in mind, though, if you use a Prime subscription or you're gifted a subscription, you are not eligible for a founder badge, and I still have a few founder badges available. The downside of being a founder, and you can ask Mary Nuke this if he's still around, the downside of being a founder is you don't get the little heart badge next to your name, which counts up how long you've been a subscriber. So like on since I've been a subscriber ever since I could get subscribers, I have a badge that says, well, it might say 48 weeks at this point. It might still say 42. Every 6 months, so every half year. So I just count up the months and put that inside of a heart, white heart with a green background, so you can see how many months, and you get some level of prestige. I was thinking, gee, do I come up with some other cute thing that looks more like a number of stars? You get bronze stars up to 5 of them, and then silver stars, and then gold stars up to 5 months. Like, no, I'm just going to do a heart with numbers. That's the easy way. I can always replace it if I want to with something else later. But the founder badge is rare, obviously. First 10 paid subscribers getting a founder badge is the most prestigious you could get. Do I have to stop saying prestigious? Does that mark me as old? People say prestigious now. I think they probably do. Oh well, I am old. I'm old and reasonably well educated, so I use old, somewhat educated English. I don't have a graduate degree or anything, so, but I do have a college degree. I wanted to I've said this story many times, but when I whine about the disappointments in my life, I wanted to get a PhD in physics, and I showed a lot of promise. The people that I worked with, I worked when I was in college. I worked with some professors in their labs and stuff. One in particular, a physical chemist, and he was all excited because his last lab assistant was getting an engineering degree, and he knew that I was going for an actual science degree. He was all proud of me, and he talked about it to the people that ran the physics experiments, which was in the same kind of lab as his physical chemistry experiments. And condensed matter physics, and that's what I was interested in. Nothing sexy like nuclear physics or astrophysics or anything like that. But condensed matter physics is sexy. It's very, it's why we have most of the innovations that we have, like silicon chips and stuff like that. Anyway, but yes, I couldn't afford to go to school full time anymore, and so I went part time, and then switched majors. Once I went to, believe it or not, it's hard to find an actual paying job in condensed matter physics. As a lab assistant in college, I got like very little money. I did get some compensation, but as little compensation as you can get away with. but then I got a programming job because I knew how to program. And in fact, one of the things I did as a lab tech was modify the programs we used to analyze the data on good old Apple IIs back in the days, not the color ones. You didn't think they were Apple IIes, just Apple IIs. Everyone, whoa, what happened to my bike? I'm having a hard time controlling it now. It might still think that I'm attached to somebody. This game did get a patch within this last week. For a second there, I had a hard time. It's like I had a ghost driver attached to me. Dropped to 4th, but I got time. Anyway, so I switched majors to computer science and just got a computer science degree because I couldn't afford. What if I had been accepted into graduate school? I would have made a little bit more money in graduate school. It would have cost more to get through the coursework and stuff, but keep in mind, this was 40 years ago, over 40 years ago, so I don't know how anybody affords to go to school now. I got mostly grants and stuff, so I ended school debt-free. I made enough I could pay for my courses and got some grant money and whatever other little bits of money to go to school. And I don't know if I would have been a successful condensed matter physicist anyway, to be honest, but I do have a great fascination with physics. And so I watch all the the popular science people and read a bunch of popular science books where they explain things in a way that they to be honest, there's no good books that there is one channel that I really like. It's called Physics Explained, where the guy is not afraid to use calculus and mathematics when you explain stuff, and yet it's not at so high a level that you have to be an expert at whatever brand of physics that he's doing. But if you do what I'm calling college, and they would call university in the UK, not like last couple of years of high school. Their college is like the last year of high school, first year of we would be undergraduate school, or first year like freshman or whatever. Anyway, it's split up differently, but so I'm talking university. You're expected to know calculus, basic calculus, but then you learn more and more math. So just basic derivative integral calculus. If you're taking a science degree. If you're not taking a science degree, you're not expected to learn calculus. If you're going for a psychology degree, which for some reason I was going for school, half the school was going for a psychology degree. That tells you how messed up the society was then. Everyone wanted a psychology degree back when I was going to school. You don't need to know calculus for that. If you're going for any kind of science degree or a math degree. Math courses were very complex. They got to be very close. It started to become like real math. And by real math, I don't mean, complicated like differential equations math. I mean like doing proofs and stuff and the things that mathematicians do. They don't sit there, believe it or not, mathematicians don't sit there without a calculator and do multiplication all day. They use first principles, they use axioms of mathematics to try to prove a particular theorem. They study abstract concepts and use those. Axiomatic systems are systems that take things as axioms that are assumed to be true. They're accepted as being true, and a good axiomatic system has a limited number of truths. Piano arithmetic is a basic version of one, and Zermelo-Fraenkel, with or without, axiom of choice. If you know anything about math, you may have heard of those, but you probably haven't. Yeah, I'm not going to win this race. I definitely, they're on to me. I said, no, we're not going to let you win this race. You dog, you must have been sandbagging earlier, because we know now you got the pole position. You're better than we thought you were. What position am I in? No, not fourth. Let's see if I can at least make the, I should at least be able to make the podium, right? There's one more lap, so who knows. If I take both of those guys out in one swipe, second place, baby. I got first place in sight. I might be able to catch him on the last lap. Here's this adaptive AI. So anyway, starting from these simple principles that everybody accepts, all mathematicians accept as true. They're supposed to be obvious. Like 0 is a number. Okay. There is a successor to every number. Things like that. You can develop an entire axiomatic system. And that's piano arithmetic. And then Zermelo-Fraenkel is built up with more abstract things, set-based things. Rules for creating sets so you don't run into things like the Barber paradox. So self-reference is allowed but restricted in such a way that you can't have paradoxes. Anyway, so yeah, I took some of that, but then when I switched to computer science, I basically just took applied math. When I'm doing a racing game, I got a lot of time to fill, so you'll hear me talk about a lot of stuff that doesn't involve racing, because, basically I'm just going around in circles, trying to do it faster than the guy in front of me. Let's see. I don't know how close I am to the finish line here, because I have absolutely no idea where I am in the course. But I feel like if I hang in there, they're giving me a chance at first place. Well, I might have just blown that chance now, so I can really accelerate through here from off the track. Oh, I got a warning. For a pass from off the side of the track, I think. Oh, no. See, this guy's going to try to take me here. Oh, I'll get another warning for cutting. But I can get like 2 more warnings before I have to do a long lap. I get a 3-second penalty. I'm not going to catch this guy. I got a feeling I'm coming up on the last turn here pretty soon. I only got 1 warning. I didn't get a warning for cutting. That's amazing. I do have, you can configure the steward's strictness. So I do have it configured to be the most lenient. You can get a penalty, but you've really got to be kind of egregious about stuff. Like that would have been an egregious cut. Oh, no. I'm getting second place here at least. Scroll down. No new
As the
messages,
Moto3 riders
sadly.
perform their
And I'm at
final
59
lap,
minutes.
Let's take a look at the final ranking
Which
of the race,
means
which has
I
just
am going to end the episode here, 59 minutes, 55 seconds. If you're watching on Twitch, that's it for, I'm going to take a break here. If you're watching on YouTube, that'll be it for this YouTube episode. Next episode will be the next weekend at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time. All right, folks, Twitch, stick around. YouTube, I'm out of here. See you next.